Well, graphic design is much an internal process as it is an external. A business logo is the future magnet of your business, and it creates a powerful image to attract current clients, but also future clients as well. Lora Starling joins me for more on this. Lora, great to have your company.
Lovely to be here.
Now tell us about the importance of creating an effective logo for your business.
Well, I really like to work at many levels when I work with logos. I've been a graphic designer for more years than I want to mention, at least over 30 years.
Wow.
And I had my own business in London. And I worked for blue chip clients. And it was great. And logos are incredibly effective. They sort of encompass the past and the present and the future, because we work with them in the present. But it's based on the history of what you've got, what your values are that you've built in the past. But it expresses where you want to go in the future. And then I got to a stage and I thought I wanted to take this a stage further. And now I work with entrepreneurs more, and we use exactly the same tools that I use for major global corporations. And I work to help people find their own true meaning in life, what they really, really want to do. And that's really been enhanced by COVID, when people have just said, we don't want to be, playing to somebody else's tune anymore. And so I design logos with them that dive that little bit deeper, but still express their values and their dreams in the world.
Wow, it's so interesting, isn't it? And I mean, with businesses now in this digital world, your logo really speaks. That's what attracts people there. And in this digital world, you have to have something that sort of represents you as a brand within a tiny little section. Yeah. Now, can you talk to us a little bit about those tools that you use for the larger corporations, but that you are now helping to use for businesses now?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I look at the elements. And the elements in a logo are basically a symbol and a colour and a word, and each of those has been being used for literally thousands of years by humans to get what they want. I mean, the pictures since we could draw on cave walls, and that's called sympathetic magic. So, we have brands like Puma and ING that use animals, for example, and other people use acorns and different things in the realistic world, just like shamans used to use. And then we have triangles and circles and squares, which all evoke a different response in us. And those lions and tigers and the things we use can also make those shapes. So, and we feel differently. It's been shown with brain scan, we feel differently when we see those, and each of those evokes a different response. So the symbol is really powerful. And even if you don't have a symbol, like say for Coca-Cola, it just has, it still makes a shape and it still evokes a response. And it's a great name because it's embedded in our minds, our hearts. The quantum field is embedded everywhere. And even if it's in a different language, like Arabic, you can still recognize it because it becomes symbolic in its own sense. And the word is really powerful. It's usually one word. That's the most powerful, at the most 2 words. And words are also symbols. An O, we feel differently when we see an O as we do to an A. And they've done experiments with exam papers, for example, it's what important what the letter forms are, where on the top of some exam papers they had an A, and on the top of the other ones they had a D, for no reason at all. And the people who had the A performed better in the exams than the people who had the D. So right down to that minutiae, it's really important what the word is, what is the name, how it sounds, because a name can be heard as well as sound, right down to the letter spacing and the typeface. The typeface makes an incredible impact. And then we have the strap lines, which are like mantras. Power to you, I'm loving it. It doesn't say anything about the product, but it really evokes a heartfelt response in it. And a colour, of course. The colour is a big thing as well. What would your advice be to businesses potentially who haven't actually created a logo yet, but then also to businesses who might already have a logo, but they feel that it isn't right? Can they then change their logo? It's very challenging to change it. My advice would be, and this is my personal advice and where I've moved my business to, is I'm just a little tired of making companies rich, which I've done in the past. I think when we all connect with our heartfelt desire, and that can be a global organization as well as an individual, then we deliver that desire to the world in the logo. Why would we not want to do that in a world that is in dire need of change? Instead of it just being, mainly about the money. And I think we can pull balance out. The logo expresses a powerful intention for a future. So when you're designing a logo, really go deep. This is what I really want. And really imagine, creative visualization is powerful. Where do you want to be? How does that look? It's kind of like co-creating with the universe. I know that sounds odd. Of course, do your research and do all that when you do, but do that. And if you already have a logo, it's a little weird, but you can actually almost have a conversation with it. You know intuitively. I think most of it are intuitive. beyond what we realise. If we learn to trust
It's
that,
so
we know
interesting.
whether it's right.
It's so interesting. I could keep talking about this forever. It is so interesting and so important to a business. Laura, thank you so much for coming in to talk
My
about this.
pleasure.
I really appreciate your expertise.
Thank you. It's been great.